Right, so testing your trading plan. So now we've got all of this and you've written it all down and you've got a whole, you've got it on either a scrap of paper or you've got it digitally. Now we've got to test the thing, right? Idea generation, let's begin here. Most of this, where you can backtest it, the better, right? So like the chef who calls all of his friends into the restaurant and says, hey, what do you think? Is this one better or is this one better, A or B? And then you get that. That's the same as, and then you get a clear answer, definitive answer. You go through and you do that with the backtesting data. Go through and see how many times, and basically what the question is that you'd be asking. And you're only really split testing two things at a time, or one thing versus the old versus the new, right? Sometimes you can be split testing two strategies entirely, and inside that strategy's got the little subcategories. But if you're just like thinking, okay, I'm going to take ABOs, for example. Is it profitable or unprofitable to take an ABO when we've kind of got that little inverse head and shoulders, like the stop loss hunt kind of thing's already happened, or it has to be a clean ABO, just like that support level holding really strong. You go back and you back test it, right? So you go back and you see all of the data and you're coming in, this is like being a scientist, you're just reviewing, you're there, you're totally chill, you're not hoping for one or the other. You don't care with well, ideally you're looking for the one that is just profitable. So you need to be as impartial as possible. Idea generation. This one is more not so possible to backtest. So idea execution and management, you can do at the same time, right? But idea generation is, yeah, what's your system for that? The only way to do that is to, at the end of each month or at the end of each week, which trades did I miss? Which trades were valid within my trading hours did I miss? Or that could be the first thing that you go and check, right? And go through all the currency pairs. Could be trades that people have posted in the channel and you're like, shit, that's actually one that met my trading criteria perfectly, but I missed it. Why? What was I doing? Okay, I wasn't on the charts during my set hours. Alternatively, it could be which trades did I miss outside of my set hours when I was at work, right? And you might see that, and many of you will get to this stage soon, hopefully, where it actually becomes more expensive. It costs you too much. You can't afford to go to work because it's losing you too much money, right? Like if you miss a trade, if you're missing 2 trades a month that profitable trades, that could be costing you, if that's costing you $10,000 a month and your job's only paying you $6,000, well, I mean, sure, hopefully before then you've quit your job, but you got to hand in your notice and say, I can't afford to be losing these trades anymore. Like I need to be there on the charts, and that's a great time when you're losing more in missed opportunities by going to work than what you are, or the trade management would have been different if you were live versus we're trying to work off alerts. It's quite cool. So that would be kind of that idea generations split testing. But you can do everything in there. So hours, it's just one thing. Watch list creation, filtration, setting alerts. You could even do change your process for your watch list creation and set a timer. How long does it usually take you on average per month? And now with your new process that you've got in play, how long does it take you? So that would be kind of just a saving time element there. Which one's quicker? Now, of course, we also want to be careful with what's higher quality and are we actually getting all the ideas out. So on, you guys get the point, right? Moving on, execution is, that's probably the chunkiest one because this is all those subcategories in the quality. Probably the major thing here is idea review, quality. Also the pre-execution check-in. You can be thinking, this pre-execution check-in, you can't really backtest, of course, but it's one that you could be considering with every trade and recording that data in your trading when you're logging the trade, how you're feeling. Anxious, happy, sad, depressed, whatever it is, right? Once you can collect that data, you can go and you can respond to that in a certain way. Like I said, if you're hungry and all your hungry trades you end up bombing, okay, maybe the teaspoon of honey could be a good idea, right? But mostly it's going to be idea review. So what is that? That's the idea review quality. Once you understand the strategies, you should be able to pick out what's valid and what's not valid. But yeah, all the traps that I mentioned before. You go through and you backtest everything. And you're like, okay, what if I take trades with 0 traps? Nothing. If there's one of those traps present, niente, I'm not going to take it. Now, there are other little things as well that you may or may not may not know about, but there are things that you may collect along the way and see, oh, I can see what's been going on here recently, and this is usually where your idea comes along. We're going to get to that in a moment, right? And this is what triggers your testing your trading plan. Then management, same thing. You go through all the setups. Better yet, if you've been trading for a year or more, you've already got all your journaled trades. Go back and apply, and this is why we take screenshots of the low time frames of everything, so that you can go and say, okay, over the last 12 months or the last 3 months, the last quarter, had I implemented this variant to my trade management, trailing the 1 hour 50 or the 15-minute 50 EMA versus the 5-minute swing lows, okay, I would have been up X amount. So what does that mean? Do that every time, right? So moving on. The idea here is, what is most effective the majority of the time? This is the question that you need to be asking yourself, right? What is most effective majority of the time? We really have to disconnect from this idea of being right all of the time, right? If being right in trading is executing on your trading plan, right? As I said, that professional trader with the $1 million account who I gave an unprofitable trading plan to, he will stick to that, or she will stick to that and be right every time. Well, they'll lose money because it's designed to be that way, but they are right. As long as they're sticking to the trading plan, they were right? Now, the trading plan, we want to be thinking of these as totally separate, right? So the trading plan is what we're doing, we're gathering, right? What is most effective the majority of the time? And once you've got clear, you keep testing, you keep trialing, keep going through the data until you can see, okay, the clear majority of the time is this. And it might take you 1 month of backtesting, might take you 3, might take you 12 months, might take you 5 years. If you're going to start building your own strategy, yeah, as I said, if anybody wants to introduce new strategies into Pro Trader, I'm all here for them, but I want to see your 3 years worth of backtesting data at least. And the data, the evidence, right? It's time consuming shit. So once you figured that out, what is most effective, majority of the time, you do that thing every time without question, right? Is it most effective every time? No. Well, no, because maybe you trailed your stop a little bit too tight and it took you out and then ran on hit profit target and you're upset, right? We don't care about that. That's a small sample, right? That will happen. There is no perfect. There's no one size fits all trading plan here, right? There's no 100% certainty. So if anybody claims that they never lose trades, they're probably just not trading without a stop loss, and one of these days they're kind of getting some hot water, right? Whatever it is. So what is most effective majority of the time? Disconnect with any individual trade outcome. And now that gets very, very challenging when you're trying to do prop firm challenges and things like that. And could be, you might be right on the line, and it's like this next trade counts. A great trader will just know it's a law of probability, and we want to be sticking to our trading plan, which is the most effective the majority of the time. Do that every time without question. Making sense? Moving on. What you need to do here is sample each process, right? So again, we've got the systems along the top. We have to sample each process 100 times or more until solidified and unconsciously competent and proven effective. Right? If that makes sense. So yeah, basically you have to gather enough data before you have the clear of what's most effective majority of the time. And then once you do this and you do it again, you do it again, you do it again, you become unconsciously competent. That's what ultimately we want to get to, right? Unconsciously competent. Once you get to the point of being an unconsciously competent professional trader, fuck man, it's a walk in the park. Like I'm not at that point, certainly not yet. I'm still refining and developing and so on. But like a lot of the stuff that I do, like watch this creation. You guys have seen me when we're doing them live. It's like, hey, Luke, slow down a second, man. Like slow it down. Like there are elements to my trading that I'm totally unconsciously competent. I can fly through it blindfolded. But there are some things that, I'm not quite totally there yet. Certainly not. But this is where trading becomes such a fantastic vocation, because it gets simpler the more you do it. You're not doing more work. You're getting more result, you get more profit, you're making more money, and it's scaling up, but you're not actually doing anything more. It actually gets easier as time goes on, right? Obviously.